Good evening and welcome to another video. Today is Thursday the 28th of July 2016 and in tonight's video I'm going to look ahead and preview day 1 of the PDC Happybet European Darts Open, which is taking place in Dusseldorf on Friday the 29th of July 2016. Day 1 sees two sessions of darts. We're going to see an afternoon session and an evening session. The afternoon session takes place at 1 p.m. German time, which is 12 p.m. British Summer Time, till 4 p.m. British Summer Time, which is 5 p.m. German Time. The evening session starts at 7 p.m. German Time to 11 p.m. German Time, which is 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. British Summer Time. Now, day 1 sees 16 first round matches, and the first round format is the best of 11 leg format, which I said before, 8 matches given in the afternoon session and 8 matches in the evening session. To kick us underway in the afternoon session is one of the better matches, and it sees John Henderson take on Jan Dekker. Now, John Henderson generally has a good run in one of these European Tour events. Can this weekend be his week? And he takes on Jan Dekker, who's been to the semi-final of the BDO World Championships before, and you can't count out Jan Dekker in this match. So what do I think is going to happen in this opening match of the competition? I think this will be a tight affair, but I think Jan Dekker will take this match by 6 legs to 5. I think he's played a little bit better than John Henderson this year. I think this will show in this match with a 6-5 win to Jan Dekker. The second match of the afternoon sees Ritchie Edson take on Harry Ward. Now, Ritchie Edson's quite a usual suspect on the European Tour. He's qualified for a few European Tour events before, and he takes on the youngster Harry Ward, who I've only seen ever play once, and that was in the BDO Youth World Final, which he got beat in. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays on this stage. He really froze on the lakeside stage. I don't think he'll freeze again on the Dusseldorf stage, but I think Ritchie Edson will be too good for him in this match. I think Ritchie, with his big match experience on the European Tour, will win this match by 6 legs to 2 over Harry Ward. The third match of the afternoon sees Wes Newton take on Shaun Griffiths. Now, Wes Newton, this is some fall for grace from him, now playing the first round of European Tour events, and he takes on the not so young Shaun Griffiths. Now back in 2009-2010, I seen Shaun Griffiths hit 4 180s in a row in a pairs match, but he's not really fulfilled his potential since then. This was an interesting match between these two, but I think that Wes Newton will win this match by 6 legs to 4 over Shaun Griffiths. The next match sees Kim Viljanen take on the home nation qualifier Martin Schindler. Now, be honest, I've never ever seen Martin Schindler play darts before. I've seen Kim Viljanen play darts a couple of times, and I think he's not too bad. I think that he's one of the better home nation players, which the European players at that standard. I think there's not much difference between these two, but I think Kim will win this match by 6 legs to 4 over Martin Schindler. The next match sees James Richardson take on Daniele Petri. Now, James Richardson famously knocked out Ryan van Barneveld at the World Championships a couple of years ago, and he takes on Daniele Petri. Again, I really don't know much about Daniele Petri, so I'm going to play it safe on this prediction, and I think that James Richardson will win this match by 6 legs to 3 over Daniele Petri. The next match is the match of the afternoon. It sees Robbie Green take on Daryl Gurney. Now, Robbie Green was unluckily beat 10-8 by Phil Taylor in the first round of the match play, and he takes on Daryl Gurney, who's had a good end of 2015 and a good start to 2016 so far. What do I think is going to happen in this match? I think this match will go all 11 legs. I think that's the first prediction I can make on this video, which I'll be certain of. This is my banker prediction, but I think Daryl Gurney will beat Robbie Green by 6 legs to 5 in this match. It's a real toss of a coin match, but I think Daryl Gurney will get the job done. He did freeze in the Blackpool stage, so he has got a point to prove in this match. I think he'll do quite well this weekend. I think he'll start with a 6-5 win over Robbie Green. The penultimate game of the afternoon session sees John Michael take on the home nation qualifier Fabian Herz. Now, John Michael's a great player who's reached a few World Championships in the past of both the PDC and the BDO, but he's never really caught the light in either competition, and he takes on the home nation qualifier Fabian Herz. Now I don't know much about Fabian Herz, so again I think we'll see a close match between these two. But I think that John will win this match by 6 legs to 4 over Fabian Herz. I think that John Michael's just got that little bit more big stage experience. I think he'll get the job done over Fabian Herz by 6 legs to 4. The last match of the afternoon session sees Johnny Clayton take on Andy Hamilton. Now these two are different directions on their career. Johnny Clayton's going up and Andy Hamilton's is really steadying and on the decline phase. I don't think he's really improving in the last couple of years as Andy Hamilton. In fact, his world ranking position has really dipped in the last couple of years. So what do I think is going to happen between the Welshman and the Englishman in this match? I think that Johnny Clayton will get the job done over Andy Hamilton by 6 legs to 3 in this match. I think he'll be a class above him in this match. I think he'll average about 5 points more than him. I think that Andy Hamilton's really declined because his performances went from being an average and solid 95 average to being 90 average, and more players are now upping their averages against him and are now beating him with 92 averages, 93 averages, whereas before they've lost to Andy Hamilton with these averages. So I think that Johnny Clayton will win this match by 6 legs to 3. The evening session starts with Matt Frost taking on Stefan Stoyke. Now, Matt Frost has played very well in the Challenger circuit and development circuit last year. In fact, he was the top Challenger player last year, and he takes on the home nation qualifier Stefan Stoyke. Now I think that Matt Frost will get the job done in this match by 6 legs to 4 over Stefan. I think that Stefan isn't the same level as Matt Frost. I think that Matt Frost's previous experience years and years ago of playing in World Championships was too much for Stefan, and I think that he'll get the job done in this match. The second match sees Dimitri van der Berg versus Jeffrey de Graaf. This is a very interesting contest because Dimitri's newish to the circuit and he takes on the established Jeffrey de Graaf, who has played tons of events and is used to the big stage and television lights being on him. What do I think is going to happen in this match? I think that Jeffrey de Graaf will start very quickly in this match, but I think Dimitri will edge into the match as the match wears on. I think Dimitri will win this match by 6 legs to 5 over the Dutchman Jeffrey de Graaf. The third game sees the third home nation qualifier Holger Riddick take on Steve West. Now again, this was a very interesting match because Steve West generally doesn't do very well in these European Tour events. It'll be interesting to see how his form is against a home nation qualifier who will have the crowd on his side. I think we'll see a very tight match between these two, but I think Steve West will win this match by 6 legs to 5 over his home nation qualifier counterpart. The next match sees Jamie Caven take on Christian Kiss. Now Jamie Caven really has a point to prove in this match because his last match on TV he got beat 10-0 off of Michael van Gerwen last week. And he takes on Christian Kiss. Now Christian Kiss was a completely different test to what Michael van Gerwen was. Christian Kiss is an up and down player, but I think this was a more level match for Jamie Caven. I think this match was a tight match. It could go either way, but I think that Christian Kiss will get the job done by 6 legs to 5. Generally, I feel when matches go 11 legs and go all the way with Christian Kiss, I always think that he can edge these matches because I think he holds his bottle well under pressure. So I think that Christian Kiss will beat Jamie Caven by 6 legs to 5. The next match sees Andy Jenkins take on Devin Peterson. And this could be an interesting clash because Andy Jenkins is a former very good player. He reached the semi-finals of the World Championships a few years back and he takes on Devin Peterson. Now Devin, you never know what you're going to get from Devin. But I think this weekend we could see a good performance from Devin Peterson. I think this match will be very close, but I think Devin Peterson will win this match by 6 legs to 4. The next match sees home nation qualifier Max Hopp take on Andy Bolton. Now Max Hopp will want to get the job done in this match, playing at his rat-a-tat-tat pace, but Andy Bolton will try and slow him down in this match. Max Hopp will have the crowd on his side because he's probably one of the most popular German players just now, just behind Jan Arthur, and he takes on Andy Bolton. Again, he hasn't got a very good European Tour record, so I think this match will be very close, but I think Max Hopp will win this this match by 6 legs to 5 over Andy Bolton. The penultimate game of the evening sees Crystal Reyes take on Kyle Anderson. Now, Kyle Anderson is a notorious slow starter in recent times. He does show nerves at the start of the match, and Crystal Reyes will want to take advantage of that. Crystal Reyes hasn't really kicked on the way we all thought he would since the World Championships. I'd be interested to see how he plays this weekend. I think again we'll see a match go all 11 legs, and I think again it's a toss of a coin, but I think that Kyle Anderson will beat Crystal Reyes by 6 legs to 5. The last game of the evening sees Gerwin Price take on Tony Newell. Now, Gerwin Price picked up a lot of dust last week on Twitter by trying to big himself up and really dig down Adrian Lewis in a conflict of interest. They played each other and Adrian Lewis won. So now he's got to do his talking on the dartboard away from this match. And he takes on Tony Newell. Now, I've never seen Tony Newell play often, so I can't really comment what I think he's going to do in this match. But I think Gerwin Price will want to make a statement in this match. And I think he'll fly out the gates in this match. And I think Gerwin Price will win this match by 6 legs to 1 over Tony Newell. So with that, that's the end of this video. Thank you for taking time to watch this video. If you want to leave any feedback on this video, you can do so via my YouTube comment section which is below this video, or by my Twitter. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up on the video. And if you've watched it via the Tungsten Tackle, you can leave feedback via their website, via their Twitter, or via their Facebook. And until tomorrow, on a preview day 2 of the PDC Happybet European Darts Open, which is taking place in Dusseldorf, I will see you then. Goodbye.